Can we start?
Reporter. You're good. Go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Village Board regular meeting of Thursday, September 2nd, 2021. Christy, would you please call the roll?
The time is 7:02. Trustee Husani.
Here.
Trustee Porter.
Here.
Trustee Kemper.
Here.
Trustee Bancole. Here. Trustee Prigi.
Here.
Trustee Gutierrez. Here. Quorum established.
Thank you. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, and then remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our moment of silence this evening is in remembrance of the 13 servicemen who were lost in the closure of Afghanistan. Please take a moment. Thank you. Do we have a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any changes to the agenda? Hearing none. Madam Clerk Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Porter.
Yes.
Trustee Kemper.
Yes.
Trustee Bancole.
Yes.
Trustee Prigi.
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez.
Yes.
Trustee Husani.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. I have 4 proclamations I'll read this evening. And first one is National Preparedness Month. Whereas the Village of Hanover Park is committed to increasing public awareness about emergency management preparedness, and whereas September is deemed National Preparedness Month as part of the READY campaign sponsored by the Department of Homeland Security, which is to increase public awareness about emergency preparedness. And whereas the 2021 theme is Prepare to Protect. Preparing for disasters is protecting everyone you love. And whereas the READY campaign is designed to educate and empower Americans to prepare for and respond to emergencies, including natural disasters and potential terrorist attacks. The goal of the campaign is to get the public involved and ultimately to increase the level of basic preparedness across the nation. And whereas for the first time in its history, the READY campaign, in partnership with the Ad Council, identified the Hispanic community as a key audience and will launch a series of public service advertisements specifically designed to encourage preparedness within the underserved demographic. Therefore, I, Rod Craig, President of the Village of Hanover Park, call upon all citizens of the Village of Hanover Park to observe September 2021 as National Preparedness Month in the Village of Hanover Park, and I encourage all residents to educate themselves, take steps to prepare themselves in the case of emergency dated the 2nd date of September 2021. Chief Forrest, I will hand that off to you for our emergency person. And my next one is 9/11. Whereas on September 11, 2001, the American people endured the worst terrorist attack on U.S. soil in the nation's history with courage and heroism. And whereas in response to this tragedy, Americans across the country came together in a remarkable spirit of patriotism and unity and carried out countless acts of kindness, generosity, and compassion. And whereas this September 11, 2021, Americans across the nation will mark the 20th anniversary of 9/11 attacks against our nation. And whereas community organizations and family members of 9/11 victims began observing the anniversary of September 11th as a charitable service day to honor the memory of those who were lost and those who united in response to tragedy, including first responders and volunteers. And whereas the Service America Act approved by Congress and enacted into the law on April 21st, 2009, directed September 11th to be observed and recognized as an annual National Day of Service and Remembrance, and charged the Corporation for National and Community Service with leading this nationwide effort. And whereas participating in service and remembrance activities honors all 2,977 first responders and civilians killed in the terrorist attack on September 11, 2001, at the World Trade Center site near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and at the Pentagon. Whereas participating in service and remembrance activities on September 11th is a positive and respectful way to remember the lives of those lost, pay tribute to those who rose in service, and honor those who continue to serve our country today, including active duty, reserve soldiers and families, veterans, and first responders. Now therefore, I, Rodney Craig, President of the Village of Hanover Park, proclaim September 11, 2021 as a day of service and remembrance in the Village of Hanover Park, and call upon the people of Hanover Park to honor the lives of those lost through participation in community service and remember ceremonies on this day throughout the year, dated the second day of September 2021. I'll be reading this again on the 11th that morning as we present our memorial on 9/11, and I will be speaking on my activity, if you want to call it that, during those painful events. The next proclamation is Hispanic Heritage Month. If I can be so honored to present this to Lisa Gutierrez of our board. Whereas the Village of Hanover Park is pleased to join the nation in honoring the many Americans of Hispanic descent who have made outstanding contributions to our village, state, and country as we celebrate National Hispanic Heritage Month. And whereas the diverse backgrounds of the Hispanic American community, its dedication to faith and family, its strong belief in the American dream, along with its rich culture traditions, have made a remarkable impact on our society. And whereas we also recognize the positive impact that Hispanic Americans have had upon the political, social, and economic development of our community, and honor the achievements people of Hispanic descent have had in all areas of endeavor, including public service, business and industry, science and technology, education, sports, and the arts. And whereas Hispanic Americans continue to demonstrate tremendous perseverance that has enabled them to realize many accomplishments and find continued success through their hard work and dedication. And whereas as a result of this love and dedication to our community, Hispanic Americans have made our village, state, and nation a better place for people of all cultural backgrounds. Now there be it resolved that I, Rodney S. Craig, President of the Village of Hanover Park, do hereby proclaim the month of September 15th, 2021 through October 15th, 2021 as Hispanic Heritage Month in the Village of Hanover Park. And I extend our appreciation to the members of our Hispanic community during this special observance dated the second day of September 2021. And thank you very much. Rail Safety Week. Boy, am I in the middle of this one. Whereas 1,889 rail grade crossing collisions resulted in 678 personal injuries and were responsible for 201 fatalities in the United States during 2020. And whereas 532 pedestrians were killed and another 556 injured while trespassing on railroad property rights of way during 2020. And whereas educating and informing the public about rail safety, reminding the public that railroad right-of-ways are private property, enhancing public awareness of the dangers associated with the highway rail grade crossings, ensuring pedestrians and motorists are looking and listening while near railways, and observing established traffic laws will reduce the number of fatalities and injuries. And whereas the National Association of Chiefs of Police, National Operation Lifesaver, United States Department of Transportation, and all local, state, and county and railroad law enforcement officers, first responders, and railroad corporations commit to partnering together in effort to educate a national level all aspects of railroad safety to ensure applicable laws in the support of the National Rail Safety Week. And whereas nationwide, most rail safety measures address hazards that are located directly at highway, railroad, grade crossings, and yet, since 1997, more trespasser deaths have occurred on railroad property rights-of-way than at actual grade crossings. And whereas the Illinois General Assembly recently passed legislation to enable funding of countermeasures projects along railroad property rights away from the grade crossings and can serve as model legislation for other states. Now therefore I, Rodney S. Craig, President of the Village of Hanover Park, do hereby attest my full support proclaiming September 20th to 26th, 2021 National Rail Safety Week, and encourage all citizens to recognize the importance of rail safety education. I've already shared that proclamation with the National League of Cities and the U.S. Conference of Mayors, and have received outstanding feedback given the work that was accomplished by the General Assembly in our state. There was some major legislation this year, and I feel really good about that. So with that, anyone for town hall session? Nothing for town hall. Very good. Village President's report. So Christy has me cracking the whip, so I'm making a list, so I just don't, you know. She wants to make sure she understands what I'm writing. I love it. Concerning evictions, I have shared with the board and staff information from Cook County. It's pretty extensive, but it's good to know that 11% of the dollars allocated for evictions and support for the owners and whatnot has been spent out of the multi-billion dollars. So there's plenty of money out there, and there's a process. If there's an issue, we may have some issues after September 18th in this state. I think we certainly know how to direct people to solve those problems. October 1st, a Friday, is a meet and greet with the legislators from 8 to 10 a.m. in Naperville. Sue will RSVP for anyone who would like to attend. I typically go. And if any board member, I know most of you have to work for a living. You know, I retired a lot of years ago, so I have a little flexibility there. But you're all welcome. Let Sue know. And I'm seeking to reconvene the Education and Work Center leadership team and include the College of DuPage. If you don't know, the College of DuPage has not been a part of this. They were struggling for a number of years. But the COD new board president, Maureen Dunn, and I met to seek their support. With their interest of combining with Elgin Community College and Harper to continue the good work at the Education and WorkNet environment, coordinating a meeting with the three presidents and the board chairman is what I'm planning right now. So heads up to Juliana. You'll be included. The Hoffman Estates Mayor Bill McLeod and I co-chair the Diversity Forum for the Mayor's Caucus for Northeast Illinois, the 275 municipalities. We initiated a DEI work group with an initial goal to establish a lesson plan that would include DEI for strategic planning. And Barry is a part of that group, and Lisa Gutierrez. They both volunteered to step up on behalf of Village Hanover Park. And today I learned that Harper has hired a vice president of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And Bill and I, the mayor in Hoffman, are pursuing a meeting with Dr. Tamara Johnson, who came here from Moraine Community College. And geez, I have connections there too. I'm sure my son-in-law knows her well. I also am continuing my mentoring for Harper students as their mentoring initiative is continuing. They're starting it back up this fall. And that's always an outstanding opportunity to get with young people and talk about their future and what they'd like to do. The POC, that ring a bell with anyone here? Is now functioning to a limited extent in Hanover Park and is expanding to the Amita Center on Lake Street, not far from the Education and WorkNet site. And I know Lisa will speak more on her involvement. And I was very pleased to hear today that the fire department, Eric, you there? I'm filleting you out, my friend, is one shot short of 100% vaccinated. Well done to the fire department. I couldn't be more pleased as they function as a model for all to follow. I've started receiving hate mail concerning vaccinations, and my response has been, did your mother make sure you received the polio shot, the measles, rubella, mumps shots? I advise people to get with the program and be a model for others to follow. We care for you. We please look forward to improving our quality of life together. So, there you go. Oh, man. I'd like to move to approve by omnibus vote items on the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion, changes?
Yes.
Yes.
Could we please remove 784?
784. Okay? Madam,
Ready?
Christie, call the roll.
So you're voting on, for the consent agenda, 7A1, 7A2, 7A3, 7A5, 7A6, and 7A7.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole? Yes. Trustee Prigi?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez? Yes. Trustee Husani?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 784. Motion to approve the 5-year contract with Axon Enterprise, Inc. with a first-year cost of $133,863.83 for the implementation of a digital evidence platform and body camera system for police officers, and authorize the village manager to execute the necessary documents. Motion?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Trustee?
So I was just reading through this memo, just very pleased to hear that our police department isn't waiting until the January 1st, 2025 deadline to implement these body cameras. So thank you, Chief, for just leading the way on this new project. I do want to go to page 26 of the memo. I'm looking at the third paragraph that states that there are instances in which the body camera would just automatically turn on if a taser is withdrawn from its holster. And so I think that was the only part in the memo that kind of talked about the automatic functions about the camera. And you know, just forgive my ignorance because I only know so much about these cameras, but is that the only instance in which it would turn on automatically? Or is it the officer turns on the camera, or is it turned on at headquarters? How exactly does that work?
The ability to turn the camera on manually. It also is turned on automatically if the squad car lights are initiated. If the taser comes out of the holster, it automatically activates. And if the firearm is drawn from the holster, the camera will automatically activate. And again, that activates anytime the taser or firearm is drawn, it activates not just a body camera, but as well as the squad car camera.
Okay, so it's 3 instances in which it'll be automatic? So you said the taser, the firearm, and what was the other one?
The squad car lights are activated.
The squad car lights are activated, okay.
Yeah,
That was it. Thank you.
sure.
So let me, that triggers a question. If you're driving down the road and you flip on the lights, the camera, on your body camera comes on? Okay, all right, interesting. I didn't catch all that. Very good, good question.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
Because I know at the last time we talked about that, the question was, can they turn them on or off on their own? And I asked this of Chief Minot, and you really cleared it up for me, and I think it's important that everybody hears this about turning the camera on and off ability.
Sure. State law dictates when you can have the camera on as well as off. If you go into somebody's residence, say in response to a domestic call, if you're in their house, they have a certain expectation of privacy that you have to respect. And if the victim of a domestic battery requests that you shut that camera off, by law, you have to have the ability to shut that camera off. Now, if an officer is found to be shutting off the camera on purpose when not allowed by law, that is a Class 3 felony that the officer could be charged with for stopping recording of the camera. As well as obviously there'd be implications of them losing their job, pension, and stuff like that. So there is protection in the law against officers shutting off the camera.
Thank you. That had been brought up at the last one. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew across the board.
How is that monitored? How is that monitored to know if an officer is shutting the camera off? To know if an officer is shutting the camera off, how is that monitored?
I'd say if it has to do with an arrest, whenever somebody is placed under arrest, it's automatic when it goes to court that everybody FOIAs everything. Any and all video gets FOIA'd. So our officers would discover it in response to those FOIAs when we're fulfilling the FOIAs. We also do regular checks of all of our video systems to make sure everybody's in compliance. We do that currently with our in-car video cameras now. And again, even though they shut off their body camera, that doesn't delete the footage. We could still go back and see, the events leading up to the shutting off of the recording. Also, you've got the in-car video that is still recording. They'd have to go to their squad car and manually shut that down also. So if they're doing it as regular practice, it will eventually come to light.
Question answered? Okay, very good. Good response, Chief. Thank you, everyone, for those questions. Let me see. That was
So there's.
688? Oh,
There's a motion and a second,
Correct.
so
Yes.
you need a vote.
Vote. 7A4.
pardon me?
Voting on 7A4.
Correct.
Ready? All right.
Christie, please. go.
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Frigie?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Husani?
Yes.
And Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 7A8, move to approve warrant 9/2/2021 in the amount of $309,289.12.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Frigie?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Husani?
Yes.
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 7A9, move to approve warrant paid in advance, 8/13/2021 through 8/25/2021 in the amount of $1,081,121.18.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on the warrant? Hearing none. Christie, call the roll.
Let's see, Trustee Frigie?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Husani?
Yes.
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Managers report. Juliana, I want to thank you for the exciting day today with our little puppy that hopefully we'll find a home for.
The only item I have on the agenda this evening is the second quarter financial report. This is the report for revenues and expenditures halfway through the year, and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have regarding it or directly Remy have walk through the report if you so wish.
Any questions for Remy? Hearing none. Good work as always, Remy. Thank you. Anything else, Juliana?
We do have a closed session.
Corporation Council report?
No report, thank you. I think you have the village clerk's report.
Oh, I jumped over the clerk. Gosh darn it.
That's all right, I forget.
I promise not to make a habit of this,
okay.
although
I
it
forget.
seems to be happening.
It's okay.
Maybe when you print my copy, you put it in bold letters
I can put it in the front.
or red. Village clerk's report?
Absolutely. So I just want to thank everybody for, our trustees for going to the special events and block parties that we've been having in the area. I do want to encourage all of our trustees to make sure that when you hear of a block party or a special event happening in the town, even department heads, please let us know at the clerk's office, since we are responsible for special event permits and block parties. We are finding that a lot of our residents don't know that they have to apply for it. So if you could just let us know so that we can gently and kindly ask them to fill that out for us, we would appreciate it. And then I also did send out an email again about the Open Meetings Act that was going on, just to remind all of our board liaisons and our department heads that are running committees to make sure that you are submitting your agendas 72 hours in advance so that we can get them posted, because it does take a little while for us to post them. That is all. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Trustee Husseini?
No report.
Thank you. Becoming a world traveler, I noticed.
National traveler.
Trustee
Gutierrez?
Yes, so I just want to thank the Palatine Wind Trust and the Hanover Park Wind Trust Community Bank. They all got together, including the bank president, to walk our streets to reach out to our Latino, Hispanic businesses for the best September 14 event that we're going to have. So I also want to thank Kathy in Community and Economic Development who walked with us. So we walked for about 2 hours. And it was very interesting speaking to people. They're very resilient, especially now as we are coming upon the celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. Our business owners are very resilient. They're helping each other out, which I love. They went to ECC for the business grants. So that was wonderful that we put that out there. They have the printed signs that we sent out. So they're getting the communications. They might be silent on their end, but they're doing something. So that's wonderful. And a special thank you to Mr. Edgar Candelas, who organized this team of 8. And we were just out in the streets just promoting this event. I went to the DEI meeting, and I was really pleased to announce that we were one of the first already with our surveys. A lot of communities, their boards don't want to do surveys. And when we were talking about DEI, I mentioned that we had a survey, and that we included DEI, and some of the items that Trustee Banko had included in there as well were sent over to the Metro Mayor's Caucus so that they can look at that. So I'm very proud of the Hanover Park for that. And then finally, yes, POC is opening at Amita at 1515 Lake Street, where they're about 8 to 2 and by appointment, and I sent out a flyer. Very excited about that as well. And then for the Historic Committee, there's a lot going on. It's a quiet committee, but they're doing a lot. They're not only looking at pictures, we're also looking at what areas we still have in town that are historic or were historic or had a historic connection somehow where something was and why this is important. And we're looking at updating the little flyer that we had of walking tours to say what we have now, and then as well as just a list of they wanted a nomination form that we have for historic places, or here so-and-so lived so many years ago, et cetera. And we found some pretty old tapes. I'm talking about 1974, y'all. That's how old these are.
The cassette tape?
Cassette tapes with like a ribbon in them. They're from the 1900s, and these are getting digitized. And so I'm very excited because it tells the history. There's a lot of interviews for people that lived here for a long time, and so I'm very excited to do that too. The Historic Committee is doing quite a few things, so I'm very proud of what they're doing as well. So that's it for me.
I'm so pleased that we're digitizing those tapes. Those were interviews with the village clerks way back when, and the trials and tribulations they went through. So that's really good stuff on there. I'm glad we were able to recover that, and I believe the support from the
The
Poplar Creek Library.
Poplar Creek Library is amazing. If you go into the Poplar Creek Library, you can look up Hanover Park history, and there you have it. And I also want to thank Dave because he's doing like a Throwback Thursdays, and the last one was the first I Am an American parade in town, which was awesome, so check it out. The hairdos.
Charlie Sobel ran that.
Yeah.
I hate to say I knew Charlie Sobel, because it was so
Wow.
long ago.
Yeah, so.
But it was, he led the American Legion in Hanover Park, and it was, you know, we understand all the competition we have today with our neighboring communities, and this was the week after the 4th of July. And it used to be a big water fight, because everybody, I don't think you could do this anymore, but the fire engine, everybody on the fire trucks, you know, they used to squirt everybody with the water, you know, and we'd be in our wagon with our kids, you know, we'd throw water balloons back. Oh, it was crazy. But anyway, thank you for your exceptional work on that. Lisa has a lot of value. Trustee Porter?
Very quickly, I don't have a lot today. I just want to say that September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and in support of that, I'm taking part in the Great Cycle Challenge to fight kids' cancer. Why? Because right now cancer is the biggest killer of children from disease in the United States. Over 15,700 children are diagnosed every year, and sadly 38 children die of cancer every week. Kids should be living life, not fighting for it.
Oh, my.
So I'm raising funds through my challenge to help these kids and support Children's Cancer Research Fund to allow them to continue their work to develop life-saving treatments and to find a cure for childhood cancer. Please support me by making a donation to give these kids a brighter future that they deserve. What I will be doing is riding 100 miles for the month of September. I've pledged to ride 100 miles, and I'm looking for people who will sponsor that effort on my behalf. I've tried to send emails, but I've been very reluctant to send emails over the village email system because it's a personal appeal, and I just don't want any problems with it. So if anyone would like to have more information, if you would send me a private email, then I can send you all of the details for my team that I'm putting together, or for those that just want to make a donation and support this worthwhile effort. The challenge is for the month of September, and it's 100 miles, which for me is pretty ambitious, but I think I'll be able to get through it.
Are you doing that in segments?
Yeah, in segments daily. Each day it
Okay.
accumulates over for the whole month. Oh, 100 miles in one thing. You'd be holding a special election.
Well, if when you're riding, if you let me know if I can ride with you, I'd be happy to do that.
Okay, will do.
And I would ask staff to support the Child Cancer Awareness Initiative. And I would ask that you share it with me so I can provide a proclamation at our next meeting.
Sure.
I think that's appropriate. And I don't know all the rules about that, but I believe without exception, this board would support, trying to support what you're
Yeah.
doing.
However, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd appreciate it.
We'll let Dave Webb worry about that one and help us find a way to cross that bridge.
Okay.
I hear no objections to that support. Thank you, Trustee Porter.
That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Trustee Kemper.
A couple things. First of all, the Veterans Committee meeting, which is the first Saturday of the month, has canceled their meeting for the 4th because of the holiday weekend, and have moved it to Saturday, September 11th at 10 a.m.
Following
Now-
the 9/11 event.
Following the 9/11 event. Also, on 9/11, St. Ansgar is going to be having a next Independence Day celebration, but it's going to be a church picnic. It is not open to the public. It is just for the parish. So we are going to be getting a special events permit for it. They do want to have the health inspector inspect because they are going to be serving food outside. So they won't need whole lot from us at all. In fact, I don't think they're any, other than the health inspector or anything.
If invited, I'll come.
Well, yeah, elected officials are invited.
Oh, one of these days I'll learn more than Ola.
And any village staff members are invited as well. Police officers are welcome to come, obviously. Fire department's welcome to come, obviously. So,
Thank you very much, trustee. Trustee Bancole?
Yes, good evening, everyone. So a couple weeks ago, I was able to attend the cricket tournament that was held on our grounds in conjunction with our park district. I believe the teams were between Barrington and Skokie. But I just want to say how proud I am that we have such maintained fields that we can host large-scale events such as that nature. So my hat's off to our park district. They work really hard. And also, speaking of our park district, they just recently submitted a grant for the OSLAD grant, the Open Space and Land Acquisition Development Grant for the fiscal year 2022. And I was really happy to be able to assist them with obtaining letters of support from just various legislators to really just try to strengthen their application and just try to bring those grant funds back to Hanover Park. The environmental committee meeting did not occur because we did not meet quorum. So again, we are actively looking for residents that are interested in attending and also being a part of our committee meetings. And last but not least, I just wanted to encourage our residents to follow our social media platforms, particularly on Facebook. I would encourage them to follow our village's Facebook, our fire department's Facebook, and our police department's Facebook, just because we have such an active and robust Facebook presence. I'm just always so proud of those Facebook pages. You guys are just on it. So I would really just encourage our residents, especially the residents that feel like sometimes they might miss information or they feel like a little bit out of the loop. I would just encourage them to just follow our social media platforms if they already have Facebook accounts. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Trustee Bancole, I share in your pain with the environmental committee and the attendance. I'm an advocate for the environment. I've been a part of many initiatives with the, you can see the photos on my wall. And so if we can do something together, a joint video, get with the Mayor's Caucus on environment with Martha, I think we can do something, really pump that out and try to get people caring about the environment. I know people care. I just look at the number of, we were, for the size of our town, pretty much in a leadership role for people putting, what do you call those things on your roof?
Solar.
Yeah, and we have the Gold Award, okay? So we've done some really good things. Dave Webb has been exceptional in assisting with that, and so we'll find a way, and we'll do that, not tomorrow, but let's put together a plan. And if you're, if I'm not too scary, I think we can do something together and pump that out to our community. And I think that may have some marvelous feedback. And maybe we can do something, kind of have a flyer ready for our upcoming event that the manager is really looking forward to. Our, what do we call it, Corks and Crafts? And let's have a little flyer we can hand out there too. I think I'm a great advocate for that, and we have to be successful. We had the first beehive commitment, across the country. We got acknowledged for that. All our communities around us said, oh, you can have beehives in your backyard, okay? But we've been in a leadership role on many fronts on the environment, and I think we can take a moment and pump that out. I've been so busy with transportation and the railroad and you know, I got introduced the other day at the mayor's dinner as, on 136 committees. You know, they like to give me the raspberries in DuPage County, but but let's figure that out. Let's plan a little thing, and we'll ring Dave Webb's doorbell, and we'll get something together. If you're okay.
I don't know, I'm not ringing your doorbell, but, but yes, sounds like a plan.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it together. Sounds good. Thank you. Trustee Priggy?
So last week.
Thank you.
Rod and I both attended the executive board of JAWA meeting. It was held at the pumping station. We got a tour of the pumping station, and they took us everywhere. It was really interesting, and I was surprised to hear that we only have 13 employees that run that facility 24/7. They work 12-hour shifts, and they're constantly monitoring everything. And a couple of years ago, they came to us and wanted to get new generators back up the pumping operations if the power should go out. And they are 99% done with that. There's just some checklist things they got to get taken care of, and everything's going good. We got a picture of all of us in the pump room, where there's actually 6 pumps. They don't always run at the same time. Usually there's 2, I think they said, Rod, 2 pumps running at once, usually. And it's the staff there maintains the pumps. They don't have outside people do it. They take a pump down, they rebuild it, whatever needs to be done. I was really impressed with the whole operation. I think Rod was as well.
I would have been what?
Impressed with the JAWA
Oh, yeah.
pumping station we went to.
Those caterpillars were pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you, Bob. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
I have motion to go to executive section for section 2C11, pending or probable litigation, and I don't believe we'll be returning. We will not.
So moved.
Second.
The motion is second. Trustee, call the roll, please.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Husani?
Yes.
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Prigi?
Yes.
Meeting is adjourned to executive session at 7:45.
Thank you. A motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Now I gotta sign off for all the money we approved.
Always.
I'm still looking for my $2.
2 cents. 2 cents.
I owe you 50 cents.
Do I have to sign in black or can I sign in a color? Like, is it okay? Like, I can't put my black pen.